Getting the balance right between planning and doing has been one of the most challenging things I've had to overcome since starting my business. Welcome back to another episode of Mistakes You Made and Lessons I've Learned. In this one, I want to talk about why giving yourself time to think, just sit there and think and plan, is going to probably be the next, is the thing that's improved me as a person and improved my business, improved my happiness as well to a certain degree. And that's partly because of where my anxiety comes from. And I say anxiety, not that I have anxiety or I've been diagnosed with anxiety, more just along the facts of I get anxious and stressed when I feel like I'm going in the wrong direction or I don't know where I'm going. So one of the things that I've found recently is when I sit down to plan out what I'm going to do before I actually do it, that I get more rewards from them doing. And that's because I don't spend half of my doing time thinking about, am I doing the right thing? And this comes down to, in business terms, it's called strategy. In programming for exercises, it's called periodization. And I almost think about it as periodizing my work schedule, my life, my having a strategy for what I'm trying to achieve. All of those things, they're interchangeable, but I think the first step of all of this is getting a pen to page. I think that's the key, is putting a pencil and a rough sketch together of what I want this next project or this next month or this next year to look like. And having that time to sit down and plan gives me a lot back. And the reason I wanted to do this video, and they're all just candid and kind of mistakes I've made from the week and lessons I've learned from this week, and is because I spent the whole of yesterday just sitting down and chatting with clients, so doing my coaching calls, and within those coaching calls we end up planning. But alongside that, I was also planning the exercise, the programs that I'm going to release on the app. I was planning the structure of them, so when someone goes on the app and they look at the programs, it's really easy to find what they're looking for, and trying to make sure that it is easily consumable. So when someone downloads it, when someone buys the app, they actually have a good experience first time. Because I was finding even me looking through my own app was struggling to find the things I wanted. So before, and actually when I first started putting programs on the app, it was literally write a program, put it up, and that was done. Whereas now is a bit more of like a methodical step-by-step approach, and actually thinking about the end goal and the end result first, and then thinking about what do I need to do to achieve that. So kind of planning it out and working backwards, and then giving myself the opportunity to go like, right now, and now where do we start? There is a caveat to this, or a counter to this, in the sense of, if you get paralysis by analysis, and I'll explain why I think that happens in a minute, but if you get paralysis by analysis, it probably means that you need to just start doing something to be able to then see the path in front of you. For example, if you've ever played any game, I'm playing Elden Ring at the moment, and when you start off, you have this tiny little map that you can see, and you can see like a couple of different landmarks on this map, but you can't see the whole thing. Now, for me to try and plot a route to the final boss and how I'm going to get there and the way I'm going to do it at the very start doesn't make any sense, because I literally have no idea what's out there beyond the small part of the map that I can see. And it's the same for us when starting any project. We know that we need to finish and complete the game by doing the end boss, but we have no idea how long that's going to take, the steps we need to go, how difficult that's going to be, what we need to level up within to be able to do that. Whereas what we tend to find is, as we work through the game and we get better at it, we then get skills, and those skills then start to we put into like different attributes, because we know that if I improve that or increase that skill, then I will get better damage output, or I will have a better health bar at the end of it. Now, that makes sense from a gaming perspective, and it's the same thing when it comes to starting any project, moving forward towards something. And having time to sit down and go like, right, what's my structure? What's my plan? What's my game plan here? Is probably going to be really important to then get you moving in the right direction towards the path you want to go. And this starts to develop as you go forward, because again, Like I said previously, my first thing when I was putting workouts up on my up on the app, was actually to like just put programs up there. And through that learning process, I learned that actually there needs to be a better approach to this, and I create a better approach. It's the same thing again. We'll just stick with the Elden Ring analogy. If you go to fight a boss, you are going to learn every single time what that boss is doing. And every single time you fight it, every single time you die and you come back, you have learned, oh, okay, when he does that, I need to dodge this way, or I need to roll this way, or I need to block here, or do this thing. Like, you learn that through the experience of doing. And that's why everything that we do isn't necessarily a failure, it's a lesson. So, going back to the main topic of giving yourself time to sit and think, if you don't spend time to sit and think about what you want to do and the plan that you're going to make and where you're heading forward, you end up spending a lot of the doing time thinking, am I going in the right direction? And to stop that and avoid that, having a plan from the off, at least to get you started, will give you then the ability to readjust your direction once you learn new information. Whereas if you just get stuck into doing straight away without any type of plan, then 9 times out of 10, that thing that you're trying to do won't be as good as if you did have a plan, right? Having time to sit and think along another side of this has improved my mental health, because it's given me time to and allowance to actually think bigger picture. Because when you're stuck in the process of something, of a project of some kind, work project or training or fat loss or anything it can be, when you're in the trenches of it, it's really hard to take a big picture approach, because all you can see is the things that's going on in front of you. And that big picture approach is quite easy to overlook when you're on the front line, getting stuck in the trenches, working hard, that you then could miss some things, or you then could be going in the wrong direction. And having time to sit and think has allowed me to like just ask myself simply the question of, am I going in the right direction? Am I doing the right thing? Is this the right way to do this? I'm writing a fat loss book, and during the fat loss book at the moment, there's been multiple times where I've rewritten how I want it to go. And I have the chapters and the things I want people to know. And then I'm writing this part about reverse dieting. And I'm like, well, where does the reverse dieting bit go? Because we need someone's metabolism to be pretty good before we actually go into a diet. So does it go at the start? But not everyone needs it. So it probably doesn't need to go at the start, because then you're getting people to do things they don't need to do. So does it go in the why you're struggling to lose weight chapter? Well, I could put it in there, and then I'm like, well, actually, it probably needs to go in the science of fat loss chapter, because we want to talk about metabolic adaptation and all of the things why reverse dieting might help with that. And that's why I think that then I take a step back and I sit and I go, okay, so what's the structure again of this book that I'm writing? Where again do I want this to go? How do I want this to flow? What's going to be the most beneficial thing? And I think this is the other aspect of this, is giving yourself time to sit and think means you're not rushing it, and it gives you the ability to ask, what's the actual outcome that we're after? So if I'm trying to lose weight and I have a weekend plan coming up and I still want to lose weight, if I just eat my normal diet throughout the week and then the weekend comes, oh my God, I've got the weekend and I've got these social plans, I'm going to eat loads of food, my diet's ruined for the week, then I'm probably going to not lose weight that week. Whereas the week leading up to that weekend, if I sat back and went, oh, okay, so I've got the weekend plans, like the outcome's to lose weight. Well, if I just adjust this, this, and this, then it means I can have those more calories in the weekend and I'll still continue to lose weight. And this is the thing of trying to give yourself that time, because without it, you won't be able to sit back, think about the outcome, think about if you're actually moving in the right direction, and readjust. And this is the thing about checking in. And this is all this is giving yourself time to sit and think about what you're doing and if you're doing the right thing. At the moment, I'm watching on the Peterson Academy, I'm watching the lectures on Plato, and obviously Plato, being a philosopher, spent a lot of time thinking and asking why and asking what the meaning is of something. And this has actually been something which has helped me recently, is like just again asking myself that question of why am I doing this? why am I doing the thing I'm doing? And is this actually moving towards the results that I want, or have I just convinced myself it is? So give yourself time to sit and think. Give yourself time to question whether you are doing the right thing. Give yourself the ability and allowance to sit back, to overview everything you're doing, and to make a plan going forward. Because if you don't, you're probably going to be running in circles, and you may be missing out on the thing that's actually going to make and give you progress. I hope you enjoyed that. This is mistakes I've made, lessons I've learned, and just things that I'm changing as I move forward through business, through my fitness and health journey and all of that stuff. So hopefully it's helped you. If it has, please do all of the normal things, subscribe, share, all of that stuff. But my name's Charlie. This is How to Avoid Mind. We will see you on the next one.